Hello everyone, we're back on the Real News Radio. Our guest today is Dr. Robert M. Bowman, Lieutenant Colonel, United States Air Force, retired. He is the president of the Institute for Space and Security Studies. Dr. Bowman flew 101 combat missions as a fighter pilot during the Vietnam War and directed the Department of Defense Star Wars programs under both Presidents Ford, Carter. His PhD is in aeronautics and nuclear engineering from Caltech. And Dr. Bowman also ran for president in the Reform Party in the year 2000. Good morning, Dr. Bowman.
Good morning.
That's quite an impressive resume you have there, sir.
Well, I'm an old guy. I've been around a long time and I've done a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly an honor to have you on our broadcast this morning, sir. We'd like to begin, just give us and our listeners just some additional background information. Just tell us a little more about yourself, sir.
Well, you've hit, I think, the most important things for folks to know. I am married. We have 7 children, 21 grandchildren, and 4 great-grandchildren. I have chaired 8 major international conferences and spoken before thousands of groups, universities, and the National War College, Industrial College of the Armed Forces, congressional caucuses, the United Nations, and the House of Lords.
Hey, sir, you doing all right today? This is Farron.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. To begin today, me and Brian's been covering in the first hour the financial meltdown. Do you see this as being done by design, being used to consolidate financial power and move America closer to a new world order?
Well, it looks, I am not positive whether they have done this on purpose or whether there was some stupidity involved, but definitely it has been orchestrated by those who are driving us into this new world order, the global banking elite, the global robber barons and investors, and it seems to be part of their long-term continual drive to transfer wealth from the people to themselves.
I would like to get your opinion. We have seen Obama fill his administration with Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission members, and already since taking office he has done a 180 on numerous campaign promises. Does he represent the people, or do you feel like he is owned by Wall Street and is doing the bidding of the Federal Reserve banking system?
Well, at the moment it appears that he's sort of torn between the two, but there's no question that he is beholden to the Wall Street banking interests and has appointed them throughout his administration, and that he is in many ways doing their bidding. Now, I still believe that, if left to his own devices and whatnot, he would rather serve the people. But I don't think he is in a position to do that. He, after all, was put in office at the decision of these folks. Every candidate of both major political parties since Kennedy has been hand-picked by the Trilateral Commission, and since he is beholden to them, they will expect him to serve their purposes, just as they did with folks like Jimmy Carter and Bill Clinton. Jimmy Carter tried to go against them, and they managed to destroy his presidency. I am hoping Obama will also attempt to go against them, and but that's really up to us. We, the people, have to lean very hard on Obama and on the government in general to make sure that we get a government that follows the Constitution, honors the truth, and serves the people instead of the banking interests.
Well, Dr. Bowman, just from your own personal experience running for president, I mean, it's practically impossible for a third-party candidate to win, let alone impossible, such as we saw with even Ron Paul, Dr. Baldwin, and of course Bob Barr.
Yeah, Dennis Kucinich.
Absolutely. And by that, to go back to what we were saying earlier, with the rampant promotion in the United States of war, poverty, pollution, disease, all for profit, I mean, by definition, we are living in a fascist corporatism type of society, are we not?
We are, absolutely. And, you know, what I have been saying for 20 years in my speeches around the country is that those of us who are devoted to peace, economic justice, and environmental preservation can make little progress in our struggles so long as ultimate power is in the hands of those who profit from war, poverty, and pollution.
Sir, we'd like to go into 9/11 at this point. There's just so many anomalies in this, quote, official story, which in itself is, of course, a conspiracy theory, given that, well, for one thing, Osama bin Laden isn't even wanted for the events of 9/11. There's just, again, so many anomalies in this version, it's really ridiculous that really anyone would believe it. What is your perspective here? I mean, all the different, particularly your perspective being a combat veteran, a fighter pilot, interceptor pilot. What did you think about the obvious stand down of NORAD on 9/11?
Well, I agree with you. The most unbelievable of all the wild conspiracy theories is the official conspiracy theory told us by our government. And that's been true since the beginning. When 9/11 was happening and I was sitting watching the television, and you know, the buildings were still standing, and all I kept thinking was, where are the interceptors? And as an old interceptor pilot, I know that if normal procedures had been followed, those aircraft, whatever they were, would have been intercepted. And so it's, you know, a lot of people say, well, you know, our government knew about it and didn't do anything and let it happen. Well, but that's not exactly true. It's worse than that. Because if our government, in fact, had done nothing, but just allowed normal procedures to take place, those aircraft, whatever they were, would have been intercepted, and the Twin Towers would still be standing, and thousands of dead Americans would still be alive. So whether or not our government planned 9/11, and there's a lot of evidence that they did, but whether or not they did, by taking active measures to allow it to succeed, at the minimum, that's what they did. They are guilty of murder and treason.
You know, with regards to 9/11, the victims' families have overwhelmingly asked for a new investigation. And we're coming up on a break here in 60 seconds, so we might have to answer this after the break. But the victims' families have overwhelmingly asked for a new investigation, and the government refuses to release footage of what happened at the Pentagon. We've got two planes that brought down three buildings in New York. And by virtue of the fact that this is omitted in the 9/11 report,